you don't need to be in a relationship, stay single. The reason why you don't need to be in a relationship is because you need to master yourself first. Being in a relationship can be a distraction. It can deter you from your purpose, your destiny in life, because more than likely you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody and things are probably not going as you expect them to. And your expectations are causing you to suffer because people keep letting you down. People leave relationships abused, feeling abandoned. That's how people get abandonment issues. Relationships can kind of fuck you up, man, So you have to learn what a relationship is before you keep saying that you're trying to get one and be in one and keep searching and looking and trying to find a relationship. First of all, a relationship is not what you think it is. You look at the word relationship, the first two letters tell you everything you need to know. Meaning that you gotta do this again. You gotta repeat this. Recycle. Just think about the word re. So you're gonna keep being in a relationship or keep repeating over and over again or in a cycle. You're gonna be in a cycle because that's what it is. But most people don't think that way. They think that a relationship is something that they can control, they can mold and build one and all that. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? You just basically finna keep repeating a cycle, keep repeating something in your life that you're trying to find or attach yourself to, and more than likely it's not gonna work out. And if it does, that's good. Some people don't have to repeat it, meaning that they kind of graduate from that. But more than likely, if you keep trying to force yourself in relationships or you keep feeling the need to be in one, basically what you're asking is to repeat the same thing over and over and over. And that could be you have a common denominator in what's going on between you and the guys or girls that you're talking to. Meaning there's a common denominator with what the problem is. More than likely it's something that either you're doing or you keep attracting. And a relationship sometimes can be kind of like a burden that you start to carry, because you're basically signing up for something a little bit more than what you asked for, So back to what I was saying, like relationship is you basically got to repeat being late, and shun is action, you know what I'm saying, or something in movement or something like condition, a state of being, like, it's a condition, so it's like the state of being late and repeating that in a damn ship. And a ship is a large damn vessel bigger than a boat. So that means that you're probably at sea, stranded with this person in a relationship. That's why relationships sometimes feel like you're drowning. Shit, you jump ship. Literally, you can jump ship in a relationship and then you feel like you're drowning. A person keep, make you feel like you're obligated to be in this relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're almost like a person can be codependent to where it's kind of like hindering both of you, So you have to learn that relationships have basically been programmed in most of our consciousness as something that we physically can have and maintain and control and build and grow. And you really can't control shit in this world. So the one thing we do want control over is how we feel about the opposite sex and what we get from the opposite sex in our lifetime. So most people want marriage and relationships and things like that. But like I just told you, relationships are not what you think they are. And that's why you hear so many people saying they want to be in a relationship, but they keep jumping in and out of relationships, like basically like you hear a person say, well, I was dating this guy and then something happened and a few months later they're with some person new and this guy, he's basically just talking to different girls, jumping in and out of relationships, not really knowing what he's doing, you know? So you gotta realize, like, sometimes it's best to be single and figure out why you ended up single versus trading in your peace, trading in your isolation, trading in your ability to work on yourself, trading in just to be in a relationship. Like, it's something that might be wrong with you to where you feel like you got to have somebody in your life to show you validation or attention or something. It's something, I ain't gonna say it has to be something bad, you know. 'Cause like I say, relationships can be good. You know, relationships are good. Healthy relationships are good. But if you see that relationships are not working, you have to realize also that sometimes relationships are not meant to be in. Relationships are not for everybody. That's just the reality. Everybody likes to think that there's somebody for everybody, but the truth is that there might not be somebody in the way you want them to like you or understand you or love you or express themselves to you. There might not be somebody like that, you know? There might not be a twin flame. There might not be someone who thinks like you, who even aligns with you. You know, everybody is not aligned with how you think, how you move. And when we get in relationships, we're basically getting in something with a stranger. That's the reality, is that you don't know this person, unless you know the person from, you know, some history or something like that. But if it's a stranger or somebody you don't know, you're basically trying to force knowing each other, caring about each other at a high level, being loyal, being trustworthy. All this stuff is like, this is a stranger. So the reality is, this person might not owe you nothing. You know, you got to get to learn this person first before you can even say that, you know, you could trust another individual. You got to wait. It takes time. It takes some years to really learn people and know people and figure out what they, you know, what they like, and, you know, just to kind of like be able to understand somebody. It takes time, you know. So sometimes we kind of get delusional in our approach to how we even see other people and what we want from them, you know, what we need from them. Because everybody has desires, everybody have needs, but you can kind of get delusional. You start making a person basically be something that they're not. You could want them to be something that they're not. You can kind of start basically blocking a person's growth, blocking a person's, you know, basically you kind of like dim their light. You know what I'm saying? Because you want them to be something that you want them to be. You want them to be a husband. You want them to be loyal, trustworthy, dedicated, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like a provider or whatever it is, a protector. You want all this different stuff. But what I'm saying is that might not just be that person. So sometimes in relationships, we meet people, and because we're so gun-ho on kind of like meeting somebody and falling in love and all of that, it's like, yeah, it's possible that you can see someone and be attracted to them. But then to try to make 2 hands, 4 hands just that quickly, or make 1 head, 2 heads, it's just, you got to get to learn a person first. You can't just jump in something and start, you know, basically trying to become Siamese twins, bro. Like, that's, you gotta let the process of just life. You might be in a place to where you might need some companionship, but you might not have like the right character at this point. You might not even have the right spiritual energy. You might not be on the right frequency. You might not be able to give a person what they really need. You know what I'm saying? So forcing it sometimes and trying to make yourself align with people, or they got to see things your way or the highway, like, you know, sometimes you could be kind of like too stubborn and miss the point. And then it's like, you know, you miss the times when guys are trying to isolate you and make you single. Like, sometimes God force you to be single. So it's like, you be trying to still find somebody. So it's your doing, because you're not understanding what you keep having to do. It's called a relationship. So you got to keep doing this over and over and over until you figure it out. And most of the time, most people don't figure it out. They give up. That's the reality. Some people, they do find someone that aligns with them, And I wouldn't even call that a relationship. I would call that something else. I don't have a word for it, but it's just like, I wouldn't call it a relationship. It's just, that would be basically breaking that cycle. Whatever that is breaking the cycle of them trying to relate to somebody and being in a condition of being, basically like stranded out at sea. That's why people get tired of people, because it's like basically you didn't sign up to be with a person this long and deal with their bad or their toxic ways this long. You didn't sign up to be now somebody's goddamn doormat, So you have to be careful when you say you want to be in a relationship, find yourself first, and then you'll be able to attract who you are. You're going to attract what you is. Wherever you at, that's what you're going to attract. You attract a good person, person that sees you with respect and dignity. That's because you see yourself like that, you probably disciplined, you probably in your spiritual bag, you probably doing the right things. But if you keep attracting low frequency negative shit, that's what you is. So before you get in a relationship, you got to fix that first. Alright, I'm done talking on this one. Y'all folk, like, comment, subscribe, man. We're gonna keep tapping in and give y'all folk that truth.